Well, we made it.
We did it.
We did it.
There's a slight delay on YouTube.
There's a massive delay on YouTube. Why is my thing so
We're on.
spiky?
How you doing, bud?
I'm alright, mate. How are you? Hello,
I'm alright,
everyone.
yeah.
There's
Evening
a lot
all,
of
evening
people
all.
waiting. Yeah.
Who
Who have we got? So we got Terry, Kenny, me, Paul, you, Mike.
Paulus Wales, hello, sir.
Oh,
Fresh
look. Of course he'd been on watching. You could have helped.
meat. I bet he sat at the back of the tugboat with his little captain's hat on, like his missus is going, "Come on, we're on holiday." He's like, "Yeah, I'll be there in a minute. Just doing something really important. The boat's going to sink. I need to fix it."
Yeah. I'm doing stuff.
I'm doing things.
With my captain hat.
Fresh meat's in, fellow comrade from the weekend.
Yes.
Welcome along, Les. Lovely. Call sign Chewbacca. Mr. Taylor.
So yes, apologies for being late. It's my first time being in control, and
The power.
my camera didn't work, so now I'm on the laptop one. I had to pick up the van from work.
Chaos, mate. Absolute chaos.
No,
You should see the state of the loft right now. Oh my god. I've got building work going on, and I've had to expose the joists in the airloft. And
No!
Literally, I've got my little area, and then it's just a mountain, like to the roof, to the apex of the roof. It's just full at one end, and there's just like, and I've still got to sort stuff out for the weekend.
It's all good fun and games, isn't it?
It was late. Yes, we know, Kieran. We know. We are aware.
Yes, we are
aware.
very.
Empire Airsoft Wankers. Yes.
Yeah. Bastard.
Airsoft Wankers in the house.
Well,
Matt.
I suppose. Let me see if I can remember how to do this. If we can
Get some news.
do the news, should we do the
Bit of
news?
Bit of news.
I am.
Go
not
on, you
as
can do it.
au fait.
Well, you'd been better if Mike had sent you his magic box of sounds and stuff. It would have been all right, wouldn't it? But
I know.
he
I could have
refused
done
to.
it. Yeah, he just refused to.
And by the way, we're not actually late. This is actually the time that me and Andy decided to start the show because we're in charge. So bollocks. If you think
and
we
now
are late.
Mike's let us in control.
Yeah, I think we should put him in a sin bin. Actually,
In the sin bin,
see how he likes it.
I'm gonna do it next week. I want some practice on it. I'm gonna kick him off, give him a rest.
Defo, absolutely.
Right, shall we effortlessly go into news?
Let's do that.
Let's do it.
I take my gun and I go pew 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 pew.
News.
I thought I clicked the wrong button then and left the show, but I was just like, oh no, I haven't. That's good.
The funny thing is, I didn't realise that Mike can actually see exactly what I can see. Exactly every time I play something, I can see you and what you're doing, and you were like, "Oh, what?"
I clicked it and I was like, oh no, I've pressed the wrong red X. Oh no, I haven't. It's all good. So it's because I got shot in the face. I think I'm a bit. Oh
yeah.
Sent me a bit baloopy. News, mate. Got any news?
Yeah. Well, you've got lots, haven't you? You got lots and lots about things. I thought you said.
What?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh no, I'm just busy in general. Nothing to do with this. That was just chaos that I've got going on in the background, regardless of prepping for stuff and that. I did have one bit of news I wanted to share, and I did do a little screenshot of it, and it was that the UCAL Ladies Airsoft team are hosting a charity event at Warzone Airsoft in aid of cancer research. So I think there's some games, raffles, prizes to be won, blah blah blah, bits and bobs like that. So I'm not sure on the dates, but if you look up the UCAL, any of the members on Instagram and that, there'll be loads more details on there.
We'll also stick up the banner that they. We'll put the banner up on our page as well.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. So I will share the I will share the life out of all their photos of the event that's up and coming once we've done this and get it all out there. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. Oh, there you go. 22nd and 23rd of July is their charity event at Warzone Airsoft for cancer research.
Yeah.
So yeah, get involved with that, people, if you can. That was my main bit of news.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking.
This evening. And obviously, there was a question about earlier on about whether we're all or who's going to NAF, and all three of us are going, aren't we?
Yes, all three of us.
I can't think who was else in that. I think it was Paul.
I think it was on.
Yes. Oh no, it was Paul Spells was asking about any of us joining them at Octo 8 this weekend, and unfortunately, it's only me joining.
You are, aren't you? Yes.
I am. I am representing this weekend. The
He
NoFos.
is.
Mike is on a. Mike is currently. Oh, let's have a game. Anyone who lives near a canal in the UK, see if you can find Mike. There's a prize in it for you. I'll give you one of my patches if you can find him. Let's find Mike.
I'll give you a BB.
Yeah. And if don't hurl any pyro at him from the riverbanks or anything like that, because he's away with his family. But we hope he has a lovely time. But yeah, if you can spot Mike in his blue little captain's hat, which he's got at the helm, then yeah, get a photograph and send it to us, and we'll get your patch in the post. Could be any. I don't know what canal he's in or what river he's in, but he's in the UK and he's on the water right now, bobbing about. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
we hope he has a good time.
Call sign Chewbacca. We are on Bravo, I think. Yeah, we're on
Yes,
Bravo.
Bravo. I don't know what that means for NAF, but we are on that.
I think it was because they're the orange team, and obviously orange would be our primary colour.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
So we went with logic.
Mike, listen out for the drone above. Yeah. Care packages coming in from left, right, and centre. Just sachets of peanut butter all over him.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like a boat trip, doesn't it?
Yeah, I want to be on that boat.
Yeah. What did you do? I was covered in peanut butter.
Yeah, I went on holiday with my family, covered in peanut butter. It was brilliant.
The other news is that we're also going to be attending the Shift Your Riffs event.
Shift the riffs.
We'll have a stand there as well, which is
Might have a seat as well.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have a seat. I'm going to put some aside.
Plenty of seats.
Plenty of seats. Which is on. I can't remember. Let me find it quickly.
Come on, man.
20...
Kieran Thompson lives 50 metres from the Kennet Canal. So he is going to be out there now, nods on,
riding it. Yeah.
There's going to be checkpoints in every lock's going to have like a NoFo listener on it, just like with a set of binos like that. Where
Sitting
is
there
it?
watching.
Ready to hurl peanut butter at Mike. Not in glass jars though, people. Only ration pack peanut butter.
You see his glass clonking.
Yeah, no. He's got his right shield though. I wonder if he's took it with him.
I know.
I'm on a boat. Mike's on a boat. Any more outbursts like that, Mike, and you'll be put in a timeout, mate.
Yeah, I can. Oh, shall I? Can I?
Just do it. Just do it so he knows how it feels. And then next time he wants to put a bot in timeout that's got the cure for AIDS or something, he'll think twice.
Shall I put a? If you got this is your last warning.
Internet died doing a good job, boys. Thanks, Mike. Oh, look at that. Look from
That's
the pro
right.
as well.
Oh.
Look at us. Look at him.
I feel praised.
Patronising us that we're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Wait till he's in a lock and ransom the lock key. Absolutely, mate. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm hoping he comes to a lock that he didn't know was there, and then he's like mid covering himself in peanut butter and has to sort of like just like waddle along the bank covered in peanut butter to operate the lock. That'd be an awkward conversation with the. They have lock masters still. I'm imagining some old dude with a big white beard and a pipe sits in a little hut and allows people to operate the lock.
Sitting there going. No, I will not.
You're allowed to. You can only operate if you're covered in peanut butter. Mike's like, well, that's handy.
Yeah.
Just going to take off my rain jacket.
Don't give him any more excuses to get naked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The DEA
All
boys
good.
are still having counselling over that.
Good grief. Just as long as he didn't do any stretches, that's the main thing.
Oh yeah, lunges.
Naked lunges from the Fraser. Well, I think that's the end of the news. I haven't got any other news. I haven't got any purchases. Purchases.
No, I haven't.
No.
No, I haven't bought anything new.
No purchases from me.
No purchases.
Adventures of Zulu. Welcome along, mate.
Welcome. Did we have an? No, we don't have an ant out the. There we go. We'll just play it again. That's the end of the news.
I take my gun and I go pew 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 pew.
News.
I think they went rather well. Better than normal.
They were brilliant. Yeah.
I did. 10 out of 10, I think, for that one. He's gonna hate us. He's going to hate us. So, tonight, mate, we are Q&A and chatting about a super duper secret thing that happened over the weekend.
Yes.
Which was
Operation
Poseidon, which was epic.
Oh, so good.
It was so good, and so scary, and so horrid, and all these things.
Well, it was scary.
It was scary, but it was fun. It was fun.
Unfortunately,
Should we just go straight into the debrief?
Yeah,
If anyone's got any questions for tonight, if anyone wants to chuck questions in, obviously feel free. Just put a big old Q at the beginning, and then we'll try and star them up and then
help them out. Right,
purple hot pants smeared in peanut butter sounds like a normal weekend. Absolutely, Drew. That is it, mate. Absolutely. So yeah, Op Poseidon, hosted by SEO Airsoft. This was at a site known as the Epsom Bunker CQB site, which is run by Incursion Airsoft. Mm-hmm. It's a wicked location. It's as scary as hell. Yeah. And this was on Sunday just gone. So we were asked to take part and play a role basically as we were like a Russian terror cell, weren't we? And our brief for the op was that the bunker itself was a water treatment facility, and we were putting a chemical weapon into the water supply into London. And the people that we were on the event with, a special forces team, were obviously tasked and obviously received intel on the location, what was happening, and they had to come in and prevent it from happening, basically. Now, that sounds quite simple in itself, but what SEO have done, which I've never seen done before, which I think is pretty. If any of you have seen the video already that SEO have put out on their YouTube, you would have seen at the beginning, you know, they hired a hotel conference room. They had all the guys in there for the SF team, getting fully briefed on the ORBAT, you know, hazards, risk assessments, things like that all going on during the briefing. And then from there, they deployed out to the site. I believe the guys who signed up for the event from the SF team, I think it was about 14 guys in total, 12, 14 guys in total. Yeah, there
was quite a few.
They had no idea, so they had no idea where this location was. They had no idea it was going to be at Epsom Bunkers. No idea it was going to be at what location. They were just going to get given a like a postcode, if you like, once the briefing was taken. This is the site you're going to be arriving at. Headed on down there, and it all kicked off. Obviously, in the meantime, from about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, we were in the bunker, getting it all set up, making sure we were familiar with the scenarios that were going to be taking place within it. So, I mean, one thing I took away from it is that I found it hard to categorise this event. Now, I found it. I mean, it was super realistic. I found it to be, obviously, it wasn't an overnight mil sim. It wasn't a battle sim. It certainly wasn't a skirmish or anything like that. Was it a sort of training exercise? Was it some mil sim in there? There was some film sim in. It was. I can't categorise it. I would
say that is 100% a training, and that was a training sim.
For the SF guys, that was a. And I know we call mil sim as abbreviation for a military simulation, but that's as close to a military simulation scenario, if you like. So I know everyone, when you say mil sim, everyone thinks 48 hours in the woods, or 48 hours at an urban site, or doing this, or camping out. It's a it's a military simulation exercise, I would call this, and it's as close to one that I've been involved with. You know, exercise, and by that I mean, obviously with all the blank rounds, all the blank firing weapons that we had there, all the pyrotechnics that were there, all the methods of entry, OpSim there from Lou. Yeah, good shout, mate. OpSim. There we go.
OpSim, yeah, that's
Operation Simulation, or Op Simulation. That's a good shout. So yeah, I mean, from our point of view, obviously I couldn't really comment on what the SF guys did after their briefing. I can only take from what I've seen on the video that SEO have put out. But from our point of view, I mean, there was 5 of us as the terror cell. We had 12 gauge trips in place. We had variation of weapons that we could either sort of brought into the UK under a guise of something else, or that we were able to get in the UK off the black market. So there was varying different rigs of plate carriers and chest rigs and small shooters belts and stuff. There were some AKs there. You know, there was a couple of AR-15s. You know, we managed to get hold of a PKM, which was always handy. You know, some Makarov blank firing pistols and stuff, and a couple of Wolfer PPKs and a couple of 8 shooters and 6 shooters and stuff. So all for the immersion and for the effect. So the initial contact of the event was for the SF was to breach the main bunker door, which is the main blast door of the bunker. Now it was going to be an explosive breach which would fail, and then that would result into a mechanical breach with a cutting torch or a disc cut or something like that to get into and there'd be an initial contact there. which was used in a firefight. There was tag rounds used.
Has someone got a tag round?
Someone got fresh meat who kindly came along and helped us out because obviously from the terrorist point of view, we were there as sort of like an acting role, for the simulation basically of what was going ahead. So we were there, we were put in place. I wouldn't say that we were scripted in what we were doing. Some of it had to be sort of engineered in a way that it would make the event flow forward, but everything in between that was I'd say quite ad-libbed. And we could sort of shoehorn our own bits and bobs in there as well at the same time, so that made it quite refreshing. That was good to do that. And I've got to be honest, I didn't think it was going to last as long as it did. But from the initial kickoff, and then the timings, the SEO said we estimate that this is going to run from about 10:30 till 6 o'clock, and I think at about 4 minutes past 6, we were all out the front of the bunker, everyone shaking hands, everyone's high-fiving. Getting some air. Oh my god! Some air.
So we were in there from 8 o'clock, weren't we? Well,
we popped out in between. We had times where we could pop outside for 10 minutes just to literally get some daylight still and then go back in. But this bunker, there is no natural light. As soon as that blast door is shut, there is not one bit of natural light. You could put your hand to your nose and you wouldn't see your hand. That is how dark it was.
There was points where you and me were facing walls and we didn't even realise that we were looking at
No, until you put your hand, you wouldn't know the wall was there. Do you know what I mean? It was that dark. It was proper dark. So that made it a challenge in itself. Plus the fact that we didn't have nods. We weren't using thermal. Well, you had your nods, didn't you? But I didn't. I had no nods on me. I didn't take my thermal. Yeah. So that was making it a challenge. We could only use red light. We couldn't use white light because obviously the SF team had their nods and stuff like that. All the Gucci toys on, which was cool. And you'll see that from the footage.
We had to navigate using glow sticks, didn't we?
We had some chem lights that we could put out just to identify certain junctions in the bunker. That was there's a glow stick there. I need to go right here because obviously once the scenario had ended, because which was quite good. What was one thing that I found was good with the SF team was that they only had 40 minutes of clean air in there before they had to exfil for 20 minutes and then come back in. And that 20 minutes, that gave us then time for the 5 of us to reorganise, move any trips, move any ID threats, move any props or anything that needed to be moved around for the next scenario to take place. So there was like multiple revolutions through the day, which sort of, and I've got to say, there was no comms down there. We had no radio comms. Obviously, we had emergency comms would just be like game stop. You know what I mean? There was been an injury or whatnot like that. That was quite easy to achieve. It was quite an echoey chamber that we were in. But radio-wise, there was nothing. There was no telephone signal. There was no radio signal unless you got outside the door. I don't even think it would have worked. I don't even think it would have worked down there.
No,
not at all.
It was just solid brickwork everywhere, wasn't it? It was just
it's a Second World War air raid shelter basically for the residents of the area. So you could, I think it housed, was it 2,000 people? Somebody said
2,000 people in total,
something like that. So it's a vast complex. And one thing that I found that was really good was that the fact that although we didn't have any comms with Terry or Sam on the ESF side, the event just smoothly ran. There was nobody had to come down and say, "Oh, we should be doing this now. We should be doing that now." It started and it went and it played out all the way to the end, and then it finished. And there was not one little hiccup. Granted, there might have been a slight delay on things happening where we were in position and waiting, but that to me that's not a problem.
No, that was.
For me, it'd be trying to set something up, but then somebody arriving there far too early. That'd be like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? That's not going to work now. Us having to wait for them wasn't a problem because it gave us time to double check things, this, that, and the other to make sure it was perfect. So that was cool. And like I said, a lot of events, it all comes down to timings with set pieces and stuff like that. This just flowed. There was not. It was unbelievable. You had no comms, and I think maybe that's why it worked so well because there was no comms. It just went right. The game's on, and that's it now to the end, which I think was cool. It was so good. Yeah, it was such a good event. And I got shot in the face.
Yeah,
really hurt. That really hurt.
Literally, I think we got shot everywhere. Because also as well, I know you can't really call it a meal sim or anything because for a few of the scenarios for it to flow better, we were there to act as more of a to slow them down, weren't we? So there was a few occasions where the SEO boys they said, look, literally, if you get hit, just kind of like duck away for a second, but then come back. So there was no reason. Almost like you're
regenning, but you're coming in from a different firing position and things like that. Do you know what I mean? You get a clip in the arm or something or whatnot. Which was it was hard to do that though, and it was hard to not say hit. They were like, whatever you do, don't say hit, and it was just like. At one point, I think I did actually look up the Russian for hit, just so if I did shout something out, I could shout that, and it would sound realistic. That
that was another thing as well. Like we were all shouting Russian words that we were googling before we
things
went
like that. Yeah, just to make it a bit more immersive, really, wasn't it? But it's they do. Sorry, Lou. They do hold skirmish nights or days there, mate. I'm not sure. But yeah, you'll have to look up Incursion Airsoft, mate, and they're based in Epsom. Yeah, literally not too far from the racecourse. But it's a skirmish site. I think it's an active skirmish site. So yeah, certainly look it up. It's definitely worth a visit. It is terrifying. There was no lights on in there. They've got lighting in there for the events, which is run from a generator outside. But we had no lighting whatsoever.
They cut that off, and that was it. It was dark.
Power was out.
It was so dark that the night vision didn't work. Like there was no light for the night vision to work, so you had to have your IR light on.
There was literally there was no light for it to absorb, was it? To process it into an image. It was just nothing.
It was just nothing.
Black.
And I got to admit that
death.
Yeah, I got to admit when we were sitting down on that third scene where we were on the left hand side, and we're sitting there and we're all sitting there waiting for them. My eyes were playing tricks.
That's one thing that did start to happen.
That was starting to get
it was getting really trippy. Like the chem lights in the distance, you'd have like a green chem light in the distance, and it would just start to bob and move, and you'll be like, "Is that someone just got?" Because the other reason we put these chem lights out there was so we could see silhouettes pass in front of them, and it gave us an indication if someone had just come around a corner. You know what I mean? You could wedge one in a bit of brickwork, and if it sort of flashed out black and then come back again, you know something's gone across it, which would help us out for PID and if there was any movement. Because we knew where us five were. We didn't have to worry about blue on blue for us because we knew where we were going to be positioned. Whether it was at one end of a corridor or on a T-junction, we knew where we were. So any movement to our fronts or whatever, it was it had to be like an NSF guy. So that was cool. But yeah, literally you had your minds playing tricks on you, and your eyes were just
Yeah,
it was like
it was getting bad, especially towards and when the pyros started to go off on the breaching, and it's just started to feel because I don't think the ventilation system at that far end has been clogged up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like proper dark at that point, and then you couldn't see it an inch in front of your face. Like you could literally hold your hand there, and you couldn't see it. Like you'd know it was there, but that was it.
Yeah. It was an awesome event. It was an awesome. Yeah, I mean, Andy, I've sort of skimmed over it there. I mean, should we go back through some of the scenarios from the start?
We can go through some of the scenes and stuff, can't we? So, so first of all, we started off basically defending the entrance, weren't we? So we were all sitting there. We had all of us had blank firers for this first scene. And did they? So that first of all, they tried to do an explosive breach through the door.
Mm-hmm.
Which failed, but because we're all how many meters would you say? 15, 20 meters?
15. So you've got a 15, 20 meter passage, wide way passage, where a lot of like on the skirmish day, there's like tables at either side for people to load the gun bags onto and that. But it's essentially just a passage all the way down with a blast wall at the end, isn't there?
Yeah, and we were all down by the blast wall, and you could hear them try the explosion, and that thud that rumbled down.
That was scary in itself.
I was like, what is that?
Yeah, because we heard this initial like boom, and then you started hearing like the cutting discs or whatever it was on the outside of the door. It was like that bit where the stormtroopers are trying to cut through the door and the Death Star, in it, and it's just like here they come. It's like boom, 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 boom. Just all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, that was that. I got to admit that was quite nerve wracking because you're sitting there and you can hear the explosion go off, and it does this deep thud through the whole complex, and all the brickwork and everything just vibrates. And then all of a sudden you hear the angle grinder started going, or whatever it was they were using to do the cutting. And mate, that was because it came down and was hitting the blast wall behind me. I was wearing peltors. I was like, that's coming from behind.
That was the acoustics in there were terrible, because I remember you was talking to me, and where it was so dark, where we'd gone completely blackout. And you said something. I literally looked up because your voice was where every passageway the roof's coat. It's got a curve to it, isn't it? Like an old school passage. Your voice was coming down on top of my head, and I was like, "How is that even possible?" and you're like you're round the corner and behind a barrier like down there, but your voice was like literally direct above me, and it was just coming. And I literally looked up, and it sounded like you were shouting down at me. It was so weird, man. I was just like, this is completely fucked up down here. But yeah, so the initial breach and that. I mean, the other thing as well was with the explosions and the blanks, you actually felt the shockwave pass through you. Like when I was firing what was it? It wasn't a 44, was it?
No, you had little
blast.
Wolf.
It was the little PPK one. Oh, the Makarov that I have.
Yeah, I think you started off.
But
with
you'd fire it and you'd feel the wave, like the shock wave pressure, would just go poof past you. It was like bloody Nora. You know, you can only imagine that's a blank fire or what like a real one would be going on in that closed environment. Everyone like, just chaos, absolute chaos. But that made it. That really did make it.
Yeah.
You know, some of the effects,
especially with your trip mines as well when they were going off.
Oh, they were quality. Yeah, they were a good touch, and they were an actual EOD threat as well, which made it really good. So it made them really sweet. One thing I did regret was that I wish we'd put one on the vest, the first EOD threat that they had to clear. I wish we'd put one on that. Because when I watched the video back and saw what they were doing, I was like, I really missed a trick there, didn't we? Shit.
Yeah, we did miss a couple. We did miss a couple of tricks.
A couple of options. Yeah, I will be getting a couple more of them because they are blinding. They're really good. Good versatile bits of kit. You know, at one point we had one to a door frame. What trip mines did you use? So they are called Beasley alarms, mate. Forgive me on the spelling. I think it's a Beasley. They're basically gate alarms for farmland. So you can get them. So it can hold a 12 gauge blank or a 9mm blank with an adapter. So you can get the 12 gauge one, but then you can buy an adapter that goes in it to take a whole size down to 9mm. And it's essentially you can screw and fix it to a gate or a post or wherever you want. And there's a metal spike which will go down and just hit the percussion cap of the blank round. It's got a little half washer that sits in a little slot. So when the tripwire pulls that out, it just fires down and just fires the blank.
You got to get it right on the edge, don't you?
Yeah. You can set it to be as strong or as weak as you like. So you can put the washer just in there. So you could literally sometimes it will just go off where it's that weak, or you can put it in a little bit more and it take a little bit of welly to do it. I mean, we had one tied to the handle of a barrel, so we left it positioned in a doorway that they'd have to move this barrel to set it off. And I was debating on putting two lines off of one trip. But I chose just to do one because we was in quite a rush to get this bit done. And luckily for them, they pushed the barrel towards the trip rather than pulling the barrel out of the way. I expected them to just pull it and boom, but they didn't. They pushed it towards, and obviously that let off a load of slack on the wire, and it didn't go off. And I was just like, shit, they didn't get that one. No. But the other one worked well. The other one was good.
And the other one worked well, yeah, definitely. Although I still can't work out how they. I reckon they threw that pyro in. And it hit the line on that first.
Do you know what? Because they were quite big flashbangs that they were using, so that could well have been the case. And if they've tossed it under their arm and it's just bowled through the door, sort of shin height, that would have caught that trip easy. Yeah, but then the first time, because when we went and checked it, it had actually been made safe.
Yeah,
and the round hadn't gone off. So and obviously Terry and that were fully briefed. Obviously for safety reasons, I did brief Terry and Sam and Liam on how you can disarm them and make them safe without any worries to anyone. As the EOD threat, if you spot the line and trace it and you find the actual the charge, then you should be able to disarm it properly. And it saves me getting more rounds. Woo! Use that one again. So yeah, it's very, very easy. There's like a ring pull on the top. You pull the spike up, and then there's like a pin that goes through it, and it's fail safe. It can't go down. And that's it. Easy. Yeah. So they worked really well. It was really good, and it was good. Obviously, seeing it back where the guys, when they came in for a second try to take that left-hand passage, they actually said about the EOD threats and things like that. Keep your eyes peeled. That was cool, and that was the actual reason that they were put there, is purely just keeping them on their toes, and obviously moving them as well. I think we moved them twice. I think 2 or 3 times for different locations and stuff. So that was always good. Always good.
That's one downside about the site. The extra barriers and defences that they've put in need a massive update.
Yes, they are very worn. Very, very worn.
Like I leaned on one and pretty much went through the bottom of it because it was so rotten. I just leaned against it and that was it. I was on my arse. Your pyro blew the bottom of one out because it was so rotten.
Yeah,
I think one of the lads' tag rounds went straight through one.
I think that went straight through one and then landed in Wayne's crutch, didn't it?
Yeah.
Poor Fresh Meat took a tag round to the balls, or to the inner thigh, which was exciting for him. He came back very excited and happy that had happened to him. Took it like a right trooper. I'd have been well pissed off. I was just like, I bet that really hurt.
Yeah. Although he kept him down for a bit, didn't he? He kept him down for a bit.
He did. Yeah, held his own. I think was that the second scenario of the day, or was that 3? Yeah, because that was that scenario 2 or 3? That was 2. Yeah, because it was PKM was 3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So scenario 2 was we all pulled back to a holding position with Andy's PKM and Wayne Fresh Meat
blast door.
Wayne held up at a comms equipment area at the bulk end of the female toilet block. There was like an access passageway, and he was there, laid down some rounds. I think he had a blank firearm, or he had his sidearm and a main, and he sort of opened up as best as he could. Then he got taken out. He got fragged, and then he got tagged, and then he came back a shell of a man. Well, we didn't see him for a while, did we? Because he went round the long way to get back to our fob. Yeah. Our fob was at the very back wall of the bunker system. Well, I'll put a picture up of the map. I'll get some permissions afterwards, and if I can share some of the photographs that we were sent from the SEO guys, we'll share them on our Facebook and our medias, and so you guys can see what we're talking about. But oh mate, what an event! Yeah, so that was scenario 2. Was that one, and obviously SF came through and sort of won the day there. And then it moved on. I think there was 6 rotations in total. The second one being a bulkhead door with a little murder hole for the PKM to fire out on them, which they had to take, and then had to do an explosive charge on that door, and that blew that off its hinges. And again, there was another big contact there, and some to and froing going on. One thing I will say, it was a very, very tough environment to have this sort of event in. It was really challenging. The darkness, the claustrophobia, navigating. I mean, it's all well and good having a map down there, but unless you can identify
exactly where
something
you are,
in that passageway that you're in, or that junction, it all looks the same.
Which you couldn't do anyway. It was just
literally like being, when you say about them nightmares, I just kept on running and running. I wasn't getting anywhere. Yeah. It was literally, you'd turn a corner and be like, this looks exactly like where I've just been. There's no let up, So maps are pretty, unless there's like a big number 1 on the wall at this junction. You can see, right, the number 1's there. I can see number 1 on the map, so I'm here now. I need to go boom, boom, boom. Then that works. That's cool. You can do that. But yeah, it's But where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so I was going to say, very challenging environment. The darkness, this, that, and the other. But there was no raised voices. There was no arguments. There was no, he's not taking his hits. There was none of that. None of that happened at all. It was, and I said this about Op Machiavellian, about it being nearly perfect as an event from my personal point of view of what I want from an event. Now, I've never done an event like the one we just did, and I can't categorise it, and I can't say this is similar to Defiant or this is similar to Legion. I can't comment on a Sterling event because I've never been to one. That was very, very much on its own sort of. You've got big weekend mil sims there, and you've got your film sims, and you think this particular category has definitely got its own bubble.
100%. Oh, you couldn't put that. You couldn't
exactly. I was racking my brains of how do you describe this as an event, or
I don't. Yeah, I reckon Opsim.
Opsim's a good one. I'd say
a very good one. Yeah, so I'm just trying to get some photos over so we can throw a couple up.
Oh, fair play, nice. Yeah, cool.
So,
well, if you're looking for photographs, I shall skip back through the chat and see if there's any.
We've got one question coming. Go on in. I shall bring that up. Where is it? So we have one from Chewbacca. So
I keep doing that.
Yeah.
Questions for tonight. I'm guessing that's camping kit, not campaign kit. Campaigns is quite good, though, isn't it?
Campaign kit.
Yeah, that was like that. Do you take to Octo 8 weekend game 10 or basher, jet ball or gas cooker? Well, this is what we like to call a chill sim, isn't it? So you go hell for leather during the day, and then you get that little index at 4:30 in the afternoon on Saturday, and it's sort of downtime. So I like to have a bit more luxurious, a nice big comfy chair, get the barbecue out, get the cool box out with the beers, have a nice cook up and things like that. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit of whatever you want, mate. I mean, I think a lot of people do tend to go with the sort of like, I would say, the more civvy sort of tenting sort of stuff like that. You know, it doesn't really matter what you take, really, as long as you're dry, you're warm, you know, and you can keep all your kit dry and that. It doesn't really matter. You could, if you want to rough it. I know Ryan, who's going this weekend. He lives in a basher anyhow, so he's just taking his basher and roll mat and just grotting it out on the floor like he normally does. So. Whilst I'm all set up, I will try and lure him in though. So, do you want to come in here? It's nice and warm in here. Come and sit in here. Keep dry. But yeah, it's a whole mixed bag, mate. You know, some people take gas cookers, jet ball, anything goes. Anything goes. Camping equipment wise at an Octo event, anything goes as long as you're safe and you're warm and you're dry and you can keep your kit dry and this, that, and the other. Yeah, you've got sort of free reign there, mate. Whether you take anything out in the field view whilst on game, I mean, you know, a little jet boiler or a little hexamine stove or something, if you want to. If you want to cook up a hot drink or hot meal whilst you're out in the game zone, you know, that's totally fine. You know, some locations you are there for a while. You have got an FOB out on site that you'll be able to store kit for from the day, because I don't think they're too keen on you keep coming back to the safe zone and things like that if you do have to get more out. You do take all your kit out there with you. So if you did want to cook up and stuff like that, it'd be no different than going to a Legion event, you know, for your field kit. Then, you know, you definitely want your jet boil or whatever you choose to use in your webbing or your day sack is what you'd take to an Octo event. But the more, once that day's event's finished at 4:30 or whenever it is, then you go back out to like the safe zone camping area, if you like. Then yeah, it is what it is. Absolutely your choice, mate. Which is good, and it's a nice bit of downtime after events like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although I have seen a couple of people, and I've not seen them. I've not seen them at events since, and that's fair play to them. Is that they think, "Oh, didn't know we'd be stopping. Oh, I didn't know it's fucking." Oh, really? Did you read anything about the event before you came? I mean, I'm going back sort of like 3 or 4 Octo events, a long way back now.
Yeah, I think now they're.
But everyone knows now. Everyone knows the Octo events. You know, it's hell for leather during the day, plenty of role playing, loads of fun, and then a nice chill barbecue in the evening. Usually get Josh and Baz come round, say hello to everyone and stuff like that, which is always cool. It's always good to see them. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be good. But then weather's should be okay. But then
should be okay. I was talking
today. But then they forecast snow for next week. Serious?
Yeah, that's up north. Isn't it?
It's not coming down. I heard it was like an Arctic blast. Everyone's getting it.
No. I think it's
absolute chaos.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's just up north.
Oh, that's all right. Worry about that. I'm going up there.
I think I might be able to present some photos. I think so.
Ooh.
Let's have a little look. Let's see if this works.
Do it. I'll look for more. I'm going to go back through the question there from Pumac. Was that the first one from Chewy, was it?
There we go. Is this?
No. Option. Sounds min. Who said that? Yeah, Alex. It was a banging event, mate. Absolutely. It was so good to take part in it, and obviously thank you to SEO for asking me and Andy, obviously, and Wayne to step in and help out. It was spot on. It was so good. It was a good event.
It is. Let me see if I can get this entire screen.
Oh, Digger there. I've not played the bunker for a long time. Cracking site. Oh, you've played there before, mate. I'm very impressed with it. You know, I'm very jealous. And luckily enough, it's only half hour from where I am. So, yeah, I might have to pay. I don't know if I'd like to do a skirmish there, though. I reckon that could be absolute chaos. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so there you can see there's the arch route. So that's just one of 50 or 60 of those passageways in that complex.
Them, weren't there?
Yeah. I mean, if I can describe it, it's a huge rectangle with 6 internal rectangles and passageways, interlinking passageways all the way off them, with then a main throat at the base, which is like the passageway out to the open air. But yeah, it's just vast.
That was when the lights were on, so there was that red light down the end. That's
Wayne. That's Wayne stood at the end of the passageway with his red light on, just to put it into a bit of size, a bit of aspect for it.
So this was the first hallway that we came in from the blast doors, and then this one here was the start of the female toilets, I think it was.
Yeah, the blast door's off to our left, isn't it?
Yeah.
For those of you listening, we do apologise.
Yeah.
We're looking at pictures of the bunker complex at the moment, and it is Epsom. I think some explorers and this, that, and the other urban explorers have done a few videos on YouTube of the Epsom World War II bunker that are varying years old.
There's about 2 or 3 of them up there. That's Wayne's final stand, wasn't it?
That was it. Yeah. So basically, the SF came down through that passageway there. I think there is a picture of the passageway that they had to make their way down where all the toilet stalls were located.
Yeah,
I'm just one thing I found myself doing as well with this was actually trying to imagine what it was like. Oh, there's the lads.
There's the lads. That's what. So
there's the 5 nasties. Yeah,
that was the only event that we had.
The only event that we had.
Yeah. So I'll see if I can find that. I thought I shared it. Maybe I didn't.
What's that of?
I'll stop sharing so you can have my lovely face back.
Hello.
Just of that of the ladies' toilets.
Oh yes, yeah, with all the stuff. I mean, like I was saying. I mean, I was trying to picture what it would have been like, or possibly could have been like back in like the 40s when the Blitz and that was going on, and you had upwards of 1,000 people in there. It just must have been awful.
Oh,
like pure awful to be down there.
Must have just stank.
Yeah, just horrible. Absolutely. Ryan James says every event has issues with not reading the brief. People at RT3 didn't realise that they wouldn't get to shoot people from the first minute. Yep. Unfortunately, mate, that gremlin will always rear its ugly head when it comes to events and stuff like that. Steve Whitehead, Operation Arctic Blast. Looks like a nightmare. Operation Arctic Blast. Is this a new one coming up?
What is this?
Oh, I don't know. I have to look that up, Steve. Interesting.
Who's
it's 10 minutes
one?
from me. Les, yeah, check it out, mate. It's. I mean, I can imagine the CQB at this incursion airsoft being quite intense.
It'd be mental. There's some real.
I reckon. Yeah, I reckon it could be. Yeah. Did you get scared by the toilet block?
Yes.
Yes, I got scared in every block of that place. It was. So one. I think it was scenario 4 when the SF came down the left side. And I was out at front with Samir, and we got shot out first.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think this is like their 3rd rotation of trying to take this passageway. Where we've repelled them a couple of times. Basically, we repelled them to the point where their gas alarms went off, and they had to exfil the complex to get 20 minutes in, and then they could come back in, which was another great touch by SEO for their planning, to enable us to give us time to reset and sort of like change the scenario over to the other side of the bunker and stuff like that. So that was cool. So me and Samir are out front, and I got shot out, and I think that's where I got that from. I got absolutely walloped with that one, I think it was. They came through the doorway that we'd first put that first trip at, and literally I swung around like that with raised my AK, and it just went poof, and I went bosh, and I was like, wow, yeah, I'm proper dead. That's really killed me, that one. I was like, I can feel blood, there's blood, oh no. Yeah. So I sat back on the floor, and this was like quite early on in the contact, so I was probably sat there like against the wall, sort of drooped as you would do. Probably a good 25-30 minutes, maybe 25 minutes, I'd say. And I started to sort of like, my eyes were starting to go, and I found myself waking, like going, and I had no choice. I just had to put my little red like angled lamp, old school lamp, just because it's a very dim light, just for purely admin. And I pointed it at a brick, and I literally just focused on the point in around it, because I was starting to just go like, because of the darkness and that, and just all the gunshots going off, I was getting really disorientated, and I was just like, oh man, this ain't good.
No.
Lance doesn't like this situation much.
It really threw me. Just being in that constant dark for so long. Yeah.
I mean, it got to the point where we did it. I mean, our intentions were not to leave the complex until the end of the exercise. But it got to the point where it was like, we need to, and even there, and that was the only point that Terry and Liam did come down and said, you guys need to come out and we need to get some fresh air, because it's getting really stuffy in there and that, and you know, even the guys who are going out every 40 minutes for fresh air are saying it's getting shit in there, and you guys haven't come out yet, so you need to come outside in the light. Come back to the light. And we literally just went out and it was just like, oh wow, trees,
this is what
sky. Yeah, this is air.
Like.
But again, and it was just another reminder. I know. So I hark back to like what people must have gone through down there. But like we were, compared to what they must have endured down there. And we're talking.
But then again, they weren't setting pyros or anything off down there.
No, but think about it though, mate.
They were
all smoking. There was, 995 more people in there than what was in there when we were there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There was cooking food going on. There was toilet systems operating, and it just it must have been. There was probably kids there crying as well, and that's fucking annoying in itself. It's just like, who bought the screaming kid? Good one.
Put them outside. Put them outside.
Yeah. Outside playing ball.
Yeah. Back in my day.
But yeah, it was. But yeah, like I was saying, so I got shot out, and I was just laying up, and that just completely tripped me out totally. And I was just like, well, I came back to you lot because you lot was back at the fob, and I come walking around the corner like Mr. Burns. I was like, ooh.
I got to admit, there was points where I got so spun round, and I knew that the fob was behind me, or our harbour area was behind me, and I'd turn, and I'd think that I'd turn like a full 360, but I hadn't. I'd only turned like a quarter, so then I went and pulled back and just ran into a wall. Or ran into the barrels that I knew that I put there 10 seconds ago.
I know.
We put this whole barricade, and I turned around and I knew it was there, just couldn't see it, and just went
and the other thing as well I found was judging the width of stuff as well down there, where it was so dark. Like the amount of times I went bang, like straight into like one of the where they put the chipboard like half. They basically just like put a chicane in the tunnel, so they put some wooden battens up and some ply lining. And made like the tunnel half size, so you got little doorways and stuff like that, little nooks and crannies. The amount of times you think, I'm just gonna go through that gap, and you just couldn't go boom, ow, trying to be quiet.
Yeah. So no, they didn't. It was what do they call it? A flow ventilation system.
Yeah, so you had the blow in from the entrance, and then it got sucked out at the back.
Yeah, basically. So they still had to have gas masks and everything on down there. But there was no sort of diesel generator or anything down there. It was the whole thing was designed that anything that got in got flushed straight back out through the vent pipe that we were next to. But obviously over what?
And I think there could have been a bigger pipe there as well, but that was that big opening there must have been blocked. Because I don't think that one above would service that size.
No, I don't think.
Complex. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was vast. It was vast.
Yeah, it was. And this one as well, rats and spiders would have been my last worry.
Yeah,
that is true. I'm surprised there weren't rats down there. I didn't see any single spiders, but unfortunately, the event organisers are putting rubbish bags in, keeping them in there.
Well, not the event, the actual site owners.
No, the site owners. And there was a lot of rubbish bags in nooks and crannies, which spoilt it for me personally a little bit.
Do you know what? Yeah, I know what you're saying there. I didn't like that. There was basically when you came into the main door of the complex and went down the main passageway, there was like a couple of rooms were like the site owners' workshops and things like that, which is fine. That's all good. But then there was a couple of larger rooms. Which could have been utilised as another area, but obviously they were literally sort of like nearly waist height with black bags of rubbish or rubble or detritus that they've collected or whatnot. So that's not been cleared out. That was a bit disappointing to see that because it's although it's an airsoft site, it is a historical area. It would be nice to see it sort of kept relatively in good condition, sort of thing. Yeah. I mean, I get there's going to be BBs and a bit of pyro on the floor, but. The fact that there's big rubble sacks of crap, basically.
Just crap and rubbish. And a couple and the ones that we were down by in that little alcove, they stank.
Not the best. They weren't the best. But,
the site is amazing and has a lot of potential. But unfortunately, I think the site owners need to have a bit of a tidy up.
Yeah, give a good clear out there.
And they need a build day down there.
Yeah, and I mean to pick if we're really going to pick holes, maybe the access point to the bunker itself. I mean,
that got slippy.
That got proper. I mean, with the amount of footfall, and I'm just talking from us, sort of like how many, 17, 18 people that were there for this event.
There's no more than 20.
Yeah, that it did create it a bit swampy at the front. Maybe a bit of work there, make it a bit easier for people to access it, and obviously keeping mud and shit out of the bunker then, because you're just treading it all into that bunker to start with. But again, it's a wicked site. I do recommend if you are into your skirmishing, your CQB, then if it's an open site, you definitely need to get down there for some fun, because that's you'll have a right tear up in there for sure.
Even with the lights on, there's still some.
It's still terrifying. In fact, it probably makes it worse, because you can see the end of a corridor with a little blinking old bulb just flashing away, and it's just like, if I go down there, I'm going to be killed. So I'm not going down there, because that is where all my nightmares will manifest around that corner, and I'm not going. No.
It was every time someone went to do something, it was, does anyone else need to come and do something? It
wasn't.
Are you sure you don't need to go and hold my hand while I go for a wee?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. I'll just go and check this corner. Who wants to come with me?
It was. No one went on their own. I think.
Nope.
I think Fresh Meat was the only one.
Wayne has got balls of steel. Literally, he said, "I'll do it. I'll sit in the pitch dark on my own for up to 45 minutes, waiting for 12 SF guys to come at me from anywhere." I was like,
"Okay, come on then."
Okay, Wayne, all four of us will be huddled in a corner, cuddling around a PKM, looking out of a hole about that big that we can't get attacked from any other position. Us four will be in there. All right, super duper safe. You stay out here in the middle. Yeah, yes, the bogs were bloody horrible. Yeah, mate, they were. Fair play to you, Wayne. You were an absolute blind that day. Brilliant, really good.
Yeah, there's no way that I would have done. No.
That's why I invited Wayne, actually, because I knew he would do things like that.
I got scared standing next to Lance. I was like, I don't like this.
There was literally that point where I wanted to fire when I got my sidearm out, wasn't it? And you were where the murder hole was, and I literally put my hand on the side of Andy's head. And I felt his shoulder first. Yeah, I felt his shoulder first. So I was like, right, went up. Then I found his peltor on the side of his ear, and I was like, right there. And then I just pushed his head, and I went, boop, 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 boop. And then now you can come back. I was so terrified because it was so dark, but I was just, it's all good.
Morning, Phil. Welcome.
Phil, your folder. How you doing, mate? You flaming galah. And
let's have a look.
Spuko of Alba? I don't know. I still don't know if I'm getting that right. Spuko of Alba.
Oh, look.
Evening, lads. Just tuned in. Evening, sir.
Someone's piped up.
I did a skirmish day there at one point. Oh, here we go. I thought you might have done. I'll wait for it. Is that just one paragraph? Is there several we've got to read?
No,
I did a skirmish day there at one point. I went out with a small squad, and I ended up shooting the wall and calling a hit as I left it on my own for the others. Down. Oh, for God's sake. He just bang, hit, I'm off.
Yeah. You could have just shot yourself in the foot.
You should have actually shot yourself, so you had,
not the
experience the pain. Yeah, poor wall. Yeah, no, it's a creepy site. I said, imagine if you could do like a small team event there with like I know Defiant, if they're listening, they won't like it, like the zombie sort of stuff, where you've actually got some guys there, just patrolling the alleyways or the passageway, shall I say? Just awful.
Oh, a zombie night down there would be horrendous.
It's an awful place, and I mean that in the nicest possible way. But it's an awful, horrid, scary, lovely, brilliant site, all in one.
It is, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah.
Those images have just loaded up. Hang on, let's see if I can
leave red balloons. Yeah, exactly that sort of stuff. Yeah, Kenny, absolutely, mate. We was thinking it's the same. We didn't have like an old tricycle that I could tie some of my trip line to and just pull it down the hallway towards them, down the passageway. Just the little rusty pedals go. I was just like, nope.
When I started singing Ring a Ring of Roses.
Oh, Ring a Ring of... Oh, yeah. That was like, yeah. Who was it? Was it Jim? Big Jim in the paint suit. He just turned around and he's like, you can pack that in. He was like, no. Stand in the corner, Blair Witch style. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, just muttering to yourself. Looking down at the floor, yeah. It could all be going on down there. I reckon that's where they all meet. Maybe they have like a yearly annual meeting there, all the freaks from all the horror films throughout the years. Freddy's down there. Freddy's hosting this year.
I can share the screen again. Let's see if we can
Is it some more terrifying pictures?
Yeah, so we got... oh, no, hang on. What are we doing 2? I don't want 2. Let's do that one. Ugh, it's all gone wrong. So that's the toilets. That's looking down. Can you see that?
Nope.
Is that not working?
You have failed miserably.
Oh, no, look, that's why. Look. Add to stream.
Oh, there we go, yeah. So they're individual toilet blocks on each side. And there's probably, what was there, 15, 20?
Yeah, easy.
So there's got to be 40 toilets that were there. It's just a hole in the ground sort of thing. Now the pipework's still there sort of thing. But, yeah, Wayne was literally situated at the end of that hallway of death. And then he had 12 burly SF guys coming at him under green eyes with tag rounds and grenades. I think he loves it. He absolutely loves it. Airsoft meets horror escape room. That's a business venture if ever I've heard one. Absolutely, mate. Yeah, there's definitely a place for it in this place. This is awful.
Yeah, this was it from the other direction.
And don't forget, guys, all these gaps here, they are actual sort of like thunderbox, portaloo sort of size shower. Is that the showers? I wonder.
No, that was the toilets. Cause
that was the toilets.
Yeah, that was you had the little.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Regardless, it was like a portaloo sort of size, so anyone could hide in there. You could be going down. You could have 15 people hiding there, and you can't even see them because they're just tucked behind the walls and that. It was just awful.
It was horrendous.
And clearing the corners of that, I mean, fantastic. It was.
That was us with light.
Yeah, I think this was just us initially going round because we got there at 8 o'clock in the morning, so this was us going round, planning the scenario, making sure we were comfortable with them in our heads, and sort of running through what we had to do, when we had to do it, where we had to move to, just to maintain that seamless sort of rotation from one to the next sort of thing. And that was really handy. That was good. And we had a great write-up as well from SEO. A full detailed brief of each scenario throughout the whole day.
That was spot on. That was
really good. Not over the top. It wasn't too little. It wasn't too much. It was exactly what we needed to know. We were told. We had a nice basic diagram overview. Little red dot marked that. Little blue dot is you. Blah 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 blah. This is going to happen. Happy days. And that was literally all you need to know. It was perfect. Absolutely what we wanted.
It was brilliant, wasn't it?
Really good. Yeah.
And I think that it would be nice for other organised to do that sort of thing for especially like team leaders and stuff that have to get their teams into position. Maybe like the lads on the ground and stuff don't really need to know it, but like your TLs and things like that, having a little write up like that, just handed out even at the beginning of the event or something, just so they've got it there, just so they can see what's happening. It was easy for us as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So you can either have it as an email, you can get it as a doc on your phone, you can screenshot it, keep it in your photos, and just flick through it. Yeah, perfect, absolutely perfect.
Yeah, all five of us exactly. All five of us were working off the same page from the moment go, which made it so much better and flow a bit better as well. I think.
And I'm not one of those ones where it's like, say, I'll book on an event 4 or 5 weeks before I go to the event, and you get sent the email with all the bit. I won't read it till 2 or 3 days before.
Yeah. Purely
because I won't remember it.
No, I won't.
No, a lot of people are reading whether they can retain that sort of information. I'm terrible. I've got too much stuff going on, doing work and other stuff to retain the information or details within an event. So a couple of days before, I'll have a good read of it, and then sort of refresh myself like the night before or the morning of, while you're just setting your kit up and things like that. Just to try and retain that, because otherwise it'll just go poof out into the ether, gone forever.
I'd have to read it on the day, but that's why having something there.
Yeah, to reference is perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And I think Liam from Black Mountain in Milsim, I think he had quite a big hand in producing those the orientations of what we were doing throughout the day. Like the set pieces, if you like. So yeah, credit to him. It was really good. It was to Terry and Sam at SEO. It was just brilliant. Can't wait to do another one. Just ring me. I'm there. Yeah. I'd quite happily be shot at for that, because
I did send him a message. I said, if you ever need a moving target, my hand.
Just don't shoot me in the fucking face again. Literally, I got shot and I was like, oh, that really hurt. And then it weren't till, and then I think it was after that set piece we come out and got some air, and I was like, I can see my own cheek, because it literally had gone.
It came up with it.
And I was like, Well, it didn't go up that bad, obviously, but I could certainly make out my own cheek just by looking down a little bit. I was like, oh, I've never been able to see that before.
my left hand, where obviously I'm holding the AK like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like that, and this hand just got absolutely.
Oh, mine did, yeah. And the thing is, though, I got each knuckle got a BB. Like, I don't know who shot me, but I was trying to think what scenario it was. But literally, I was there like that, and it went boom, 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 and I was like, oh, bastard!
CQB, I'm getting some armoured gloves. You know the ones with
mate. Yeah. Well, like Silly Gilly does with his little net curtain so it hides his reload. I might just get a bit of polycarbonate sheeting and just have it there, just like just a polycarbonate disc. It goes all the way around my barrel at the end, and just have the barrel poking through it. That's what I'm going to do. Yes, there's a market for that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I got 3 in there. So I got 3 in the knuckles there. I got Zuka. 3 in the knuckle, 1 in the cheek, 2 in the right arse cheek, and I think I got a sporadic peppering over the rest of my body.
I've got a perfect line following my spine.
It's when I went to get in the shower and I went, I don't even remember getting shot there. Yeah. There's a bruise. I'm bruised. But yeah, no, it's very good. Oh, Liam's on. Welcome along, mate.
Liam,
I'm just going to be calling you again, guys. Done an incredible job, and the 3 of us at SEO are extremely grateful, mate. Absolute pleasure.
Lovely, yeah. Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure as always, bud. Yeah, no, it's good to see you guys. Always a pleasure.
Oh, look, he's written an essay again.
Oh,
Mike,
God.
just keep him short. Come on, you know.
Having attended that, has he got a question? No, we can't read it because he's not put a Q at the beginning.
Oh no, right, bye.
So that's it. Delete that.
Anyway,
moving on.
Moving on.
Might put there. Gutted I couldn't go. We can read that because that's just a standard comment. We can read that out. That's fine.
Yep.
Gutted I couldn't go. Sad face. Blackbeard RB6 has what you need. Blackbeard RB6 has what you need. What is this devilry Lou that you're talking about?
Blackbeard
RB6. I don't like it when people do things like this.
It throws me.
They expect me to know things, and I don't know things.
We're an information channel. Do you not know this?
I really enjoyed it, Mike. We'll do it again. Mike, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, right, we'll do it.
We can read that one. All right. Having attended that event, do you think there is more of a market for events where there is a force at the event which is designed to be effectively target practice, not in a negative way? After doing this one, I don't know if I consider it target practice for us, because obviously we did give a good account of ourselves, considering there was only 5 of us up against 12. I think there is. I would certainly be massively interested in doing an event like this and doing it from both sides of the coin, if you know what I mean. Obviously, we've done our bit for this weekend. Obviously, because I've known Terry and Liam and Sam for quite a long time now. More so, obviously Terry and Liam. I've not had couple of dealings with Sam, but he's a great guy nonetheless. I
think it needs to be heavily.
You've got to be heavily.
It's got to be not heavily monitored, well controlled. It's definitely got to be well controlled by the organisers, and you've got to make sure that the opposing force or your
he's retyped it with a quick Q at the beginning.
Yeah, no, that's why I did it. There we go. We'll do that one.
Question in from Mike there, Andy. Don't know if you read it out. Oh, it's the one we've already read. Oh, that's it. You shouldn't have bothered putting a Q, mate. We'd have read it out.
Yeah. I definitely think you need to make sure as well that you aren't going to get players on the opposition team or your.
Are you speaking from our point of view? Like, as us being like the actors there,
or the actors, or the staff, the shootable staff, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know how you would
event assistant type thing.
You need to make sure, because that event
we had to be fully invested. We had to be fully on board and fully invested on what SEO wanted for the event. Yeah, because you wouldn't. This is not the event where you could say 20 minutes, an hour, or 2 hours into it, I ain't enjoying this. I've had enough. I'm going. That is not an option, because you will cock it up for everybody. So you've got to be heavily invested in. I think obviously that's why they asked myself, I in turn asked you and Wayne to get involved with it. Because I know you're fools and you would just get shot at for fun.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. But no, it was genuinely brilliant. But I think there's definitely a market for this sort of event. And like I said, I can't categorise it into one particular type of event either. This has got its own pigeonhole. Very much so. Now, whether this sort of event would work in a rural environment, in a woodland scenario type thing, I don't know. I think personally this event is more designed to be an assault on a building, sort of CQB type-esque setup, the way they've done this one.
Yeah, and small numbers. I
don't think you could do this. This is a very personal event for a set. Or it'd almost be like a team event, and you literally get your team as one side, and that would be it.
Yeah. And one thing
now, how that works from a business model, I don't know. But that's where I would see it. Or you get guys who are associated with different teams together and do an event there under the SEO banner, or they provide the op for you to take part in. Now, whether I don't know what SEO's plans are, but or what sort of the future holds for these sorts of events, I'd certainly be interested in seeing more of them.
Yeah, I the one thing that I would like to see would be, and I said this to them on the day.
Best I get off.
I'd like to see the numbers reversed. So you have a small, maybe, section of maybe six to 8 guys, and then you have like a large Op4 force around a building, maybe
almost
20 guys.
Turning the tables, almost like a bit of a 13 hours sort of thing, like stuck in a compound, got to wait for an evac at this time, sort of blah blah blah.
Yeah, so
that could be quite cool.
They got to get into the compound, and so like they shoot all of us out, and then once they're in the compound, we'll bug off, give them 15-20 minutes, and then we have to assault to try and get back in there. Into a building.
I mean, there's massive options. There's ops that you can look back through the histories and sort of try and recreate them. Obviously, trying to make them work so they work in an event environment. But like, who is it who said there? Stephen Whitehead, escaping evasion in woodland would be brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. If you had a hunter force out for you, you've got minimal kit and literally just do an E&E exercise, that would be great. That would be really good fun.
Well, the last SEO one that we did was a bit of a escape and evade, wasn't it?
It was. You're evading a hostile force for X amount of time, and obviously completing some objectives along the way. Yep, that could be done. Obviously, we were lacking on some numbers on one of the sides for that, so that it would have been better with more, but it was still brilliant regardless. Do you know what I mean? So that was a hot one, wasn't it? That's when we played the Hunter Force.
Oh, yeah, that was
burning hot. So that may even that on its own added an element of difficulty to it was the weather as well and stuff like that, which is always cool. Yeah, we always like a challenge.
I think we had a question come in a minute ago about it as well. Oh yeah, mechanics gloves.
Oh, do you know what I do, mate? But I didn't. Do you know what I didn't take them because I didn't want them to look out of place. So I wore my black sealskins, which have got no knuckle protection on them. So shame on me for that. That is literally my fault.
But both of my mechanics gloves, I don't tend to not like the rubber or the plastic armor on them. So both of my mechanics gloves are non-defensive. So my grey ones and my green ones that I have, or tan ones, none of them have got padding on. But I'm definitely buying a set on payday.
Wait, like I've my mechanics gloves, my MTP full finger ones. I've had them for donkeys. I think they're about. I got them from Crawley Surplus, and they're about 30-35 quid, and they've been bloody brilliant for the last 7 years. Now, granted, I don't wear them every day, but they've lasted me for 7 years of airsoft and milsim and stuff like that. So, yeah, good old set of gloves. I like them.
Then we had Lumens said that he posted it in the Facebook chat.
Posted what? Is this the Blackbeard thing?
I think this is the Blackbeard thing.
Rainbow Six has what you need.
So to any of our listeners as well, what he is referring to is that we do have a Facebook Messenger chat that people are more than welcome to join. Just drop us a message on our email address, which I'll put up at the end of the show because I haven't worked out to do that yet. And
But we're getting there.
we'll get there. But yeah,
Baby
if you want to join in and have a chat privately with people, you're always more than welcome. Just let us know if you want to be added on. Oh, look, he's got to go.
Got to go, gents. Get into cold. No, he's not. He's been told off by his missus.
Yeah,
he's got to go in.
Off.
That's what it is. It's not
we
cold.
We miss you. I'm still doing it next week, by the way, Mike.
See you, Mike. All the best, mate. Hope you get warmed up from not standing on the towpath any longer, whatever that is.
Yeah, towpath.
I'm guessing that's the path that goes along the side of the canal.
I think that's what it's called. I just called it a pathway.
That's a path, yeah.
It is a path.
It's a path.
Because they don't tow it anymore, do they? They don't tow the boats down there
It's
anymore.
a path for you.
It's a path.
There we go.
Yes, he will be back next week. I think.
Maybe.
Am I doing this 2 weeks in a row?
I don't know. Well, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to let the audience decide. I'm not doing it. No, I ain't got time for any nonsense. No. I like watching you drive home at ridiculous rates and knots of speed, getting in at 7:45 to find out the software wasn't working.
Yeah.
And then be like, shit, what are we going to do now? Okay, we'll get it working. I don't think we was bad. Considering it was 8:05. That's not bad going, I don't think.
Was it 8:05 that we got?
It was. I think it was 8:05-ish. Yeah, not too bad at all, mate.
Yeah, doing 60 in the works van.
Sorry, work.
Yeah.
P.S. Checking moorings. There's NoFos about. Absolutely. Yes,
yeah,
mate. I love that.
that.
Everyone getting out their boats in the morning. Oh, God, bloody moorings. My rollock's been covered in peanut butter. What is this devilry?
What's the stick called that you steer with? Is it just this rudder?
Rudder
arm?
Rudder arm.
Anyway, that. So if someone can smother that with peanut butter.
And blame Mike for it.
And blame Mike for it.
Massive influx of peanut butter usage in the wherever he is area.
Yeah, we'll find out and we'll post it. We'll post it on social media for everyone to go hunting.
Yeah, let's go and catch a Mike. We're going on a Mike hunt. Oh, news. Got an army armament L85 for shift your rifts.
Ooh. Make sure you come over, Stephen. Say hello.
Yes, man, absolutely. Beautiful.
Lovely bit of kit, that.
Nice.
There we go.
That's it. I think we've wrapped it up. I think we've summed that up quite nicely, haven't we? That briefing. Yeah. And then closing comments, mate, on that event for you. Then best takeaway from Sunday.
Best bit was I can't really. The bit where I thought I was running away from the Special Forces team, ended up running into the wall and hiding in a little alcove, popping out while 4 or 5 of them had already walked past, including Terry, getting out my pistol and whispering in their ear in a Russian accent, "You're dead," and then shooting them with my pistol. Yeah, you're on mute.
I just said brilliant. Love that.
Yeah. And I thought I was running away at that point, but I didn't. I just got myself stuck in a hole. Turned around and they'd already pushed past.
I'm stuck.
Yeah, so in a Russian accent, I kind of just went, "You're dead." And they just pop. 4 of them, and then decided to turn on my white light or my red light, so I knew exactly where I was meant to be going, and then ran away.
Yeah, but I think for me, I'd say funniest moment was another scenario that I'd been killed in, and there was it was a corner of where two alleyways meet, and what they'd done is so you've got a corner point. I was in the corner of that point there, and they'd sort of like boarded up like half and half, so you had like 2 little doorways around the corners, and I was in the corner like that, and my AK was to my left hand side, and I think you drew your pistol. I think this might have been like what you're just talking about, because I think you shot a guy out who was in the room. He was just exiting the room that I was laying in, and he fell to the right and went down against the wall, so we were sort of like facing each other like that. And then their medic came in and jumped across my body and landed on my leg, like dropped his knee down onto my leg. He wasn't the biggest guy in the world, so it didn't really matter. I wasn't fussed. And he was like, he looked around, he was like, "Oh my god, dude!" He said, "If I just land on your leg," I was like, I'm dead. I said, I don't give a fuck about my leg. Get off my rifle. And he was like, oh, sorry. And he was just like, he had one knee on my AK, one knee on my leg. He's tourniqueting this dude, and it was quite funny. Then his mag fell out of his pistol as he stood up, and and literally I was just laying there like that, and it just went plop into my hand. And I tapped him on the thigh. I was like, you're going to need that. And he was like, legend. Back in. So that was a quality moment. But I'll tell you one thing I wanted to highlight, actually, and it just tweaked in my mind then, and I'm not sure if it was you. I think it was Wayne telling him on the way back, was what a couple of times, 2 or 3 times when he's sort of died, been hit out, blah, 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 fallen down against the wall and stuff. Every single time that happened, the SF medic or team leader would stop and just, mate, you okay? You all good? Every single time. And that's fucking kudos to them. That's brilliant. That is really good.
Yeah.
No one checked on me. No one give a fuck if I'm dead or not.
I did.
You did. I meant from the SF lot. No, the SF, you lot all got looked after. I didn't. I was just laying there, like, that's brilliant. And that's just like marks of respect and things like that, and just checking on each other. And, especially being in the environment you're in. You don't want anyone to get injured for the sake of being injured or anything like that. But yeah, that was a nice touch. That everyone was just checking on each other. That was cool.
Yep.
So yeah,
I'm gonna read it, Stephen, but Q in front of it next time. You get told off. I'm going to be strict from now on.
Yeah. Do you lanyard your pistols? No. I don't. No, I don't lanyard.
Only reason that I don't is because I like a lot of motion with mine, and I always find that just having stuff tied to me is the worst thing in the world. That's why I can't stand HPA, because I can't.
I don't like the idea of the line thing. Yeah. I would say, my Kydex holster, touch wood, has never failed me yet.
Yeah.
Kydex Customs holsters, the absolute bollocks.
Yeah.
They are the
my
best.
Universal, the Warrior Universal holder.
Yeah. See, I run it even in that. If I'm running my like my multicam loadout and that, I'll run that with my. It sits high on my thigh, my leg holster, my panel with my Kydex Customs actual holster on there. Or I usually run it in one of the very deep pockets in my chest rig, and there's no way it's coming out of there unless I pull it out with my hand. Do you know what I mean? You've got the side ones there, literally just holds a sidearm there. Perfect. That's the only place I'll ever run a sidearm, being in that holster that I know it's not going to come out of, or in the deepest pocket of my chest rig. So yeah, I don't lanyard it up. But it wasn't his pistol we dropped, mate. If that's what your question was regarding, it was his mag come out of it. I think it might have clipped. It might have clicked the mag release and it just popped out. But where it was an awkward position that he was in, so I get why that probably happened. Put a lot of pressure against the outside of his leg, sort of thing. So
yeah, definitely.
It wasn't me.
I think the best bit was the start, sitting there waiting at the blast.
Yeah, that was. It was just because literally we were there. We were sort of all of us were just sort of like. Just sort of buzzing for it to kick off. We were like, come on. Like this.
And then that explosion happened, and everyone all of us were like raring, wasn't it? And then that explosion happened, and
then the door they pulled the door open, and it's a proper blast door. It takes force to pull that door open, and then you just get this bead of light just shot down one edge of the tunnel, wasn't it? But we were still in the darkness,
well.
But it was just like whoa, yeah.
And everyone was
mate.
Oh shit!
Because that was cool. I don't know if we mentioned that bit. So that initial contact was vast and brilliant. And then as soon as we'd emptied our blank rounds, we had to duck behind the blast wall because we had tag rounds coming in. So it was literally bang, 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 8 rounds or 12 rounds, whatever it was we had in the clips, or the mags, I say. And then it was peel off, like 3 one way, 2 the other, back behind the blast wall. And then their tag rounds were coming down, boom, 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 explosive entry, and that's it then. That's when we sort of started pulling back and sort of covering, fire and manoeuvre all the way back. Yeah, it was so good. It was so good.
Yeah,
I was buzzing, genuinely buzzing all the way home with that. Yeah, that's all good. It's all good, mate.
But I've never been so tired. No, I don't know if that was lack of oxygen or just it was constant for us, wasn't it?
It was relentless. We had no time to stop for if we'd suppressed them and sort of like they then had their alarms go off and they had to exfil, we literally had time to manoeuvre ourselves back to our fob, get reset, re-bomb. We grabbed quick drinks, protein bar, something like that, and then it was back to the next position to reset. Do you know what I mean? So,
That was.
but it was worth it. But it was worth it. It was so worth it. And I was knackered afterwards. I felt tired afterwards.
I've been less tired at skirmishes than after.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, obviously, by the time it kicked off, I mean, it was probably what 8 hours ish, 7-8 hours.
So they literally came in at about 10:15.
Yeah,
it all started off,
and it indexed at about 6:05. We was all at the front of the actual bunker bit, but then we still had to go back in and get kit out and stuff like that. So I don't think I actually got away from there till 6:30, 7:45ish, something like that. So yeah, it was a good 7.5 hours, 7 hours ish.
It was about 7 o'clock because I didn't get home till 8:15.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Fair one. Hour and 15 for me. So, but
yeah, it was like I felt like I'd done a weekend. Now, whether that's because of the concentration and your heightened sort of like excitement sort of thing when you're in there, and it's just sort of like what am I trying to say? What's the word? Come on, adrenaline. The adrenaline's just like pumping for a majority of the day. Then you get that crash at the end. It was just sort of like,
Yeah, I did have a stop off and get a really sugary drink.
Well, that's one thing I did do. I made myself a brew before I left. I didn't have a coffee all day long. The flask was still full when I come back out, so I had a nice hot brew for the way home, which was good. But yeah, it was to close on that for me. It was It's the I can quite comfortably say it's the best event of that style I've ever done, because it's the first one, and what a way to start events like that. To do the first one. I mean, it was brilliant. That's all I can say on it. I can't wait for more in the pipeline.
Definitely cutting, like the anticipation of it all starting was, and we were only there as,
and I mean, not being funny, we're talking from the actor's point of view, and like the event help point of view. I mean, for the guys on the SF team that actually went, they actually went to the hotel actual conference briefing rooms, this, that, and the other. Do you know what I mean? Actually getting a full brief. The anticipation from their point of view of planning their infill, exfil, stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then actually driving around to an unknown site. Like, so where are you going to Airsoft this weekend? I have no idea. I'm going to a hotel for a briefing first, and then God knows. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's brilliant. That is brilliant.
I'd love to see what sort of their feedback is. Unfortunately, we didn't actually I didn't get to meet that many of them.
Well, to be fair, I think they were packing up kit.
Yeah,
we had to pack up kit. It was quick handshakes, high fives, well done everybody in that. But yeah, hopefully the next one it'll hopefully be the same sort of crowd, and we'll get a bit more time to say hello and stuff like that at the end. That'd be good. But
although when I stepped out and looked at all their kit, I was like, "Ooh, we're gonna get spanked. We're gonna get spanked on this third one." But we didn't. We held our own.
I was like. Well, my boneyard AK rattling away like a good one. Your GHK is, mate.
It's a bit nice in that tunnel system, isn't it?
That is second to none. Are we allowed to put videos of that firing on our Facebook?
We can put it on the Facebook. We can't do it live.
I will put that video up on our NoFo Facebook. For those of you who've not seen Andy's AK with the sound and light suppressor on the end. The noise hog, whatever it's called.
Spitfire, isn't it?
The Spitfire, yeah. Spitfire. Which illuminates the gas venting from the muzzle breech is. It's just fantastic. And in a area that's got no natural light, that is jet black. This is where that was born to be used on that gun. It is the sickest thing I've ever seen. I was just like, oh my god, you shouldn't have that. I should have that. You shouldn't own that. But anyhow, I'll do, as soon as we're wrapped up here in a sec, I'll get that uploaded for you all to enjoy as much as I did.
You even had a shot of it as well, didn't you?
I did. I was just like, this is very, very good. But yeah, I don't think we've had any more questions used on myself.
We've got Phil Dunn. He said he's a tight ass.
Good.
And if he's running a plate carrier, his pistol in the rightmost mag pouch. Rightmost.
Yeah. Right. So the furthest mag pouch on the furthest to the right in there.
Right.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, you can easily stash a pistol in a mag pouch. Good as gold, Phil. Don't worry about it, mate. I won't tell anyone you're a tight ass.
No. Stephen has never used one himself. But I thought about how clumsy I am. And then the thought of fumbling with pouches and the holsters in the pitch dark. Yeah,
I tell you what, it's a good way of training yourself to know where your stuff is. And and this is, I'd like to say that I did rather well, considering this is the second time I've only ever used an AK, and I had to change mags in the dark.
Oh mate, I was
like the fire selector. I was like, where the fucking hell's that gone?
Yeah.
Is it here?
Yeah.
Is it here?
So obviously with the GHK, you've got to load it, then you've got to cock it. Then you've got to put it onto put it onto fire, then you've got to cock it for it to fully cock all the way back.
Yeah,
like a real AK. And there's me 15 minutes, isn't there? Just trying to looking is click, 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 as I'm trying to get.
It's like a transformer it's got stuck or something around the corner.
I was like, why are these mags not going in?
But I mean, that even that in itself, to say that, what a training experience as well to go in to use that as well for like training, like for CQB training, clearing rooms, clearing buildings, corners, and stuff like that as a team, moving as a team in a confined space. That would be brilliant. You know, it's a very cool place. It's a very, very cool place.
Even for training, I definitely think that'd be more training.
Yeah,
more training than anything else.
100%, and it'll be an enjoyable one as well. Because it's just such a unique place to go to, and I love history and that as well. So just going down, I was just like, ooh. It was very similar to work. So I work in London Underground, and I'd see like, stuff like that every day. It's just sort of like, but this is very cool.
Because you get to use your pew-pews down there.
Yeah, I don't think London Underground would be very happy if I took all my stuff into work. Well, because I was have to go down here.
Yeah, I don't think Thames Water would be happy about it either.
Yeah, exactly.
All these BBs coming out my tap. Oh well.
Well, interesting you say. Yeah, I had an issue. But anyhow, mate, shall we?
Yes, I think we shall.
Shall we wrap it up there? We've done rather well, I think.
It's a good time.
I hope Dad's proud of us.
Oh well, I hope so. I've got to save it and try and work out how to do stuff with it, which I might just not bother doing and wait until old man comes back.
Old man Fraser.
Old man Fraser.
Get off that boat, boy.
from his canal boat. So one last one from Chewbacca. Yeah, you
every time
this weekend.
Yes, I am indeed, mate. I will be at Octo 8 this weekend. I won't be there till the Saturday morning, unfortunately, because I do have to work Friday night. But I will be there on the early morn of Saturday. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's been a while since I've managed to get to an Octo event, so I am excited for it.
Yeah,
and be good to see all you bods down there. I think I've got some NoFo stickers as well. I think I stumbled across some.
Should do.
What team?
Will we getting?
I'm on Albion, mate. Civ Pop. So yes, I was going to go Phoenix. I was going to go JTF because I know a lot of the NoFo guys are going JTF, but then I didn't want to be a complete turncoat to my Phoenix guys. God love them. So I thought, well, do you know what? I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going to go middle of the road Mary and be Albion, and then no one can shout at me. Because
everyone.
Yeah, but I could just both teams are on me now, so it's like just bring it on. I'll have it.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be good fun.
I will let you do the closing remarks for the show.
Closing remarks from the show. Oh, what can I say? Closing remarks from the show. I'll tell you what. I hope you've enjoyed this evening's show. Be it, unfortunately, obviously, the cornerstone of November Foxtrot isn't with us because he's bobbing about on a boat somewhere. With his little silly little captain's hat on. Barge. Covered in peanut butter. Yeah. So yeah, we hope you've enjoyed the show this evening, girls and boys.
Yes.
We do.
Please don't leave a review on this one.
please don't review this episode. If you know it's good for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, just if you're out and about this weekend at Airsoft, have fun. Be safe. Don't be a dick. That's me done.
And that's it. Lovely. So if you do need to get in contact with us with anything, I'm going to try and do this. You can contact us on email via the nofochat@hotmail.com. Instagram is November _Foxtrot _NoFo. Or you can jump on our website, which is www.novemberfoxtrot.co.uk. And also as well, you've got our Instas, which are there and there. on the corners, and Mike as well. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Mike, 9-volt airsoft.
9-volt airsoft. And now I've got to try and do the outro. I think it's this one. See you
Ciao,
later.
Bella. Stay
Say
NoFo. See you, Mike. Love you, Mike.
You, Mike. Peanut butter on a barge.